Hello vinyl community, hello record collectors, and today also hello to all psych heads. Because this video is gonna be psychedelic, and especially psychedelic music that was released on 7-inch records back in the late 60s and the early 70s. And all these singles just came out on 7-inch, but they have been comped on many compilations throughout the years, so these songs that I'm about to show, you can find them on like a Rubble collection and stuff like that. But I have picked out a couple of singles that I think are just fantastic. And not only that, I like to have some kind of theme in my videos, so all these singles has something to do with going inside your head or inside your mind. In this video, we're gonna talk about psychedelic music by a guy that thought he was the reincarnation of an Egyptian pharaoh. It's going to be a single that were sponsored by the Mental Health Council in the UK. We're going to show a single from Australia with some really trippy vibes and a ghost that lives inside an Indian priest's head. Holy moly! I hope you will like this video and find some new exciting psychedelic music that you haven't heard about. And also, please comment, like, subscribe, put down suggestions with psych music like this in the comments. Let's do this. Let's go on a trip inside your head. The first single is this single by the band Ramases and Selket, and the A-side is Crazy One and the B-side is Mind's Eye. This cover is maybe not in the best condition, but these old singles are quite hard to find in good condition. But hey, this is a fantastic psychedelic single that were released in 1968. And I'm gonna mostly talk about the B-side, Mind's Eye. That is an absolutely fantastic psychedelic song filled with like Eastern influences, and it has string arrangements and kind of trippy vocals and some flutes and stuff. So it has all the right ingredients for a great psychedelic song. And lyric wise, they sing about the Nile, they sing about going into outer space, and all that good stuff that happens inside your head. They were a duo. They were wife and husband. They came from the UK. I think they were from Sheffield. And they had this duo that created some fantastic psych music. Just released a couple of singles in the late 60s. And in the early 70s, they shortened their name to just Ramases. And they released a couple of albums on Vertigo Records. And one of those records are Space Hymns that came out in 1971. But on this single they were called Ramases and Selket, and he thought that he was a reincarnation of an Egyptian pharaoh. So they were really out there and they were very influenced by the ancient Egypt and space and planets and, you know, trippy stuff like that. This is a Netherlands press that came in picture cover like that. In the UK it was only released with a like company sleeve, I think, and it was released on CBS label. This is my Mind's Eye. So let's listen to my Mind's Eye and see what you think. Funny thing, the A-side, Crazy One, is also on the Space Hymns album, but on that album it's called Quasar One. Quasar as in, you know, like a galaxy or whatever a quasar is. So Quasar 1 and Crazy 1 here. It's the same song but two different, totally different versions and recordings. And the story goes that it was supposed to be called Quasar 1, but they misheard the title on the telephone, so they thought it was Crazy 1. I'm not sure if this story is true, but it's a cool thing. Anyway, when you listen to the song, you can clearly hear that he sings Crazy 1, so I'm not sure about this. Maybe it's just a myth. The next single is by a band or a studio project called Purple Wine. And this single came out in the UK in 1971, and it has 3 tracks. It's My Mind, I'm Lonely and Friends. And the first song here, It's My Mind, is a fantastic psychedelic song. Really like murky, dark psychedelia with some whispering voices and echoed guitars and like this bass synthesizer, and very trippy song. But what's so funny with this single is not only that I don't hardly know anything about this band, but the cover gives some information. It was released in like this die-cut cover, and here on the back we can read: proceeds of this record go to the National Association for Mental Health and associate charities, sponsored by the Mental Health Council. So the Mental Health Council in the UK paid for this recording and released it. Hopefully they wanted to make a profit of it or something, but obviously it didn't sell much at all. But anyway, it's a really great psych single, and it's very obscure. It has it's a trio, and it's Bob Tansley on organ, David Moore on guitar, and Brian Cox on drums. And it was produced by Bob Hopton and engineered by Roger Guest, and theme by Bill Kirk. And the theme here is all the songs concern mental health issues. So they wanted to do a psychedelic rock single about mental health issues. So they like commissioned this band to do music on a subject. So it's all about your mind and how it is to have these issues. So it's a very interesting single, and a very rare one. Only 15 people has this on their Discogs page, so not many have it, and it's hardly ever come up for sale. I got my copy when I went to Utrecht, the big record fair in the Netherlands. And actually it was the last night we went out to a pub, and one of my friends there, Jens, he was looking at his eBay and he said, "This single is a really good one, you should buy it." And I was like, yeah, and I sampled it in my headphones and was like, wow, this is amazing. So I bought it there on the telephone from a seller in the UK, and so I got it when I got home from the trip. So I bought it online in Utrecht and got it when I got home. So thank you, Jens, for hooking me up to this. The other 2 songs are quite cool, but to me it's the A-side, It's My Mind, that is fantastic. They sing like, "Help me, it's my mind." So definitely psychedelic music about your mind. Check it out. I am so sad. And I mean, I have Googled this, the producer's name and the players' names and everything, and I can't find anything. So I have no idea of what they did after this, or whatever happened to them, if they played in other bands. I mean, they are quite good musicians, so they must have played in other bands maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, very obscure and very little known about this. If you know anything about this single, put it down in the comment. Maybe you worked at the Mental Health Council in the UK in 71, or maybe you know some of these players, I'm not sure. Put down a comment and let me know if you have more info about this. The next single is more of like a bad trip in your mind kind of single, and it's by a guy called David McNeil, and the song is called Space Plane. This is a UK press that came out on the lovely President label. It came without a picture sleeve or anything like that, and I think the President label just released their singles in plain white sleeves back in the days. But this is an absolutely fantastic, dark, dreamlike psychedelic song. It feels like he's a bit disoriented. It's an acoustic guitar and like a haunting cello, and his like reverby voice singing about him being really drunk and meeting up a girl that invites him to her head, and they go into space on a space plane. Dark acid folk kind of song. And this guy David McNeil, he released a couple of singles in the late 60s, but later on he released many more LPs that I haven't heard about at all. I think he went to make like standard pop music or something like that, and I think he was born in France, so he released a couple of LPs on French. I haven't heard anything of that at all, but this is a fantastic single. Came out in 1968. It was also released in a couple of European countries with a picture cover, but this is the UK original on President. And here we go.
I was standing there, drunk as I can be. I was gonna fall when she said to me, I have a space plane, fire mind and soul to get away.
So the next single is all the way from Australia, and it's by a band called Tully, and the single is called Lord Baba, a song that was a tribute to their spiritual guru Mir Baba. And Tully, the band, they started out in the late 60s. They came from Sydney. They started out as a like acid rock, psychedelic rock, progressive rock kind of band. But in the early 70s some band members left, and they were joined by a couple of musicians that had been playing with the band Extradition. And Extradition has done a fantastic acid folk album from Australia. It's rare as hen's teeth, but it's fantastic, and I don't have it, but I'm looking for it. So if you have it for sale, you can always contact me. Anyway, so the band, they brought in some like more folk musicians, and they turned away from the acid rock and went to a more calmer psychedelic folk music, often with this like spiritual themes. They, as I said, they were following this Lord Baba, so they even made a song about him. This is the B-side, Lord Baba, and the A-side is called Krishna Came, and it was released on the Harvest label in Australia. But as I said, at this point the band has turned towards more folk psych, turned away from the acid rock that they were playing before. And this is a real like hypnotic, like a mantra or something. acoustic guitar and bass, and this like chanting choir singing Lord Baba, and lovely female vocals on top of it by Shayna Stewart from Extrusion. So it's a very trippy and more like meditative single going into your mind during a meditation. And the mantra is Lord Baba. For the last mind trip, we're gonna go to Belgium for a fantastic psychedelic single that came out in 1969. And it's the band Injun with their song Indian Priest that came out on a small label called Reward Records. The labels look like this. This single is an old favorite of mine. It's like also the kind of dark psychedelia with some backwards instruments and some flutes and very trippy vibe. And the theme here is kind of dark as well. He's singing about being a ghost that lives inside an Indian priest's head, and he wants to come out of the head so he can haunt people, and he's like looking for maiden's blood and a bit of children's meat to eat. And it's very scary stuff. And also it's kind of interesting here because the last lines on the song is fire, wind and evil thought. Arthur Brown has got me caught. So I think Arthur Brown and fire, he's probably singing about the crazy world of Arthur Brown. I don't know if they're connected or so at all, but you mention Arthur Brown in the lyrics here. And absolutely killer song. Pretty hard one to find from Belgium, and highly recommended.
I'm living in the brain of an old Indian priest. I'm just a ghost insane whose mind find no peace. Please let me out. It's my time for hunting. Please now, I'm together.
This song came out in 1969. But later in 1974 the song Indian Priest was released by another band that was called Seafruit. And that single looks like this, Indian Priest by Seafruit. Came out on the VIP label in Belgium. So this is 1974, it's the same song but a different recording. It's more... It's a longer version with a long kind of synth solo inside of it, and more like female choirs, and it's still very trippy and still really good version. And I'm not really sure if this is a cover of the Injun or if it's the same band that released it again under a different name. So these two singles, same song, maybe different bands, maybe the same band. I'm not really sure. However, on this single, they changed the lyrics about Arthur Brown. So they are singing something else there. So not Arthur Brown on this version. So it's a slightly different take on it. But one great song, two great versions, 2 different years, 69 and 74. If you have any information about Seafruit and Injun put it down in the comment and let me know.
I like maiden's blood, a bit of children's meat, I'll take it full or hot. This food I badly need. Please let me out. It's my time for hunting. Please now, time to get away.
So there you have it, a couple of singles that really goes into your head, into your mind. My last video about Fairport Convention got really long, so I wanted to do a little shorter video this time, just a few singles with stuff that I love, stuff that I want to recommend, and maybe stuff that you haven't heard. All these singles are very obscure, and they also only came out on 7-inch back in the days. They have all been, of course, been comped on many compilations. All of these songs you can find on compilations. I hope you have found some new music. Put down some comments what you think of these singles. Have you heard them before? Or can you recommend similar stuff? I love to find old dreamy singles like this. So until next time, be sure to turn on, tune in and drop out. And be kind to each other. Make love, not war. Okay? Peace.